So, when the information about the National Eucharistic Congress came out, I knew I had to go. I didn't know why, because I saw that there was going to be like 10,000 people or something there, and I don't like crowds, but I knew I had to go. And so thank you, Bishop, Cameron Amory, Father, and all the people involved in making this happen. So I'm going to jump right to when we got there. Checked into our hotel. On my priority list was getting food. And I don't know where Marlene and Pam were at on their priority list, but man, we walked down there looking for some food. And as we were going, we passed St. John's Church, which is where perpetual adoration was happening. And we're like, whoa, nope. First things first, adoration. And it was so amazing because, well, today is amazing as well. There's many people in here, but I'm used to seeing adoration with, a handful of people, maybe a dozen. But we walked or started to try to walk into the church and we couldn't get in because it was so full. People were flowing out. There was a line of people waiting to get into the chapel or into the church. It's about the size of St. Stephen, for those of you in the area. And it was standing room only. People were kneeling, and just to see Jesus right then, before the Congress really kicked off that evening. And I thought to myself, wow, this is going to be special. Fast forward a little bit. We need to get to Lucas Oil Stadium for the official kickoff. And we joined this mob of people walking. Mob. It was like a wave, okay? Just so many people and the energy there. So it made me think of, as I was walking there under the overpass to get there, it made me think of the tunnel you'd walk to from the parking lot to get to the Joe Louis Arena. So you'd be really close with a whole bunch of people. Everybody's super excited to go see the hockey game, right? They're pumped up, energy, energy, energy. You just felt it vibrating off of each other. That's how it felt walking into the arena. If we weren't going to go see a hockey team, we are going to see Jesus. And there is all that energy and all that excitement. And it was the most beautiful thing. So then we get into our seats and we're sort of near the tunnel where if we were playing football, Peyton Manning would have run out of that tunnel. And that's where people were entering, the pilgrims that had done the Eucharistic pilgrimage across the country in the 4 routes. They were coming out with their icons, their pictures, paintings of the saints that represented each way. And again, excitement. You could just feel it continue to build. And it was contagious. And it was like the whole room was vibrating with all this excitement. And then I noticed the gleam of the monstrance. And I think everybody noticed at the same time because there was this beautiful shift in energy. And it went from this excitement to just reverence and awe. And I felt like my breath was being drawn out as I was sucking a breath in all at the same time. And I don't know if somebody said it or if it was a thought, but it was something I heard over and over again. Jesus is here. Jesus was there. He was with us, and you felt it everywhere. And one of the nights I was talking to Bishop Walsh, and he pointed out to me that the altar in Lucas Oil Stadium during adoration was exactly on the 50-yard line. And that significance to me was just like, well, yeah, right? Of course, he has to be at the 50-yard line because Jesus must always be at the center of our lives, right? That's where he needs to be. And it was a beautiful thing because I really felt that the people there, he was, right? We saw people living out, being the hands and feet of Jesus at the Congress over and over and over again. There's homeless people in Indianapolis, and I saw people sitting with them and looking at the Bible, reading the Bible with them, bringing food. Somebody had fallen, had broken, I believe, their leg. People were kneeling down next to them and caring for them, praying over them as they waited for the ambulance to arrive. There was one point, a time that kind of missed lunch, so I sat down with a cookie and a muffin because that was all I was going to have time to get before the next session. And the missionaries, I sat at a table of missionaries. I don't remember who was with me, but they're like, you know what? You guys need more than just a cookie and a muffin. Look, we have all this food to share with you. Here's a banana. Here's a lemonade. Here's something else. Over and over and over again, we saw and witnessed and experienced people being the hands and the feet of Jesus. It was beautiful. During the closing homily, Cardinal Tagle, and I'm just going to paraphrase, he did a much more eloquent job than I did, but he said, we experience Jesus' mission of gift of himself when we receive the Eucharist. So we experience Jesus' mission of gift of himself when we receive the Eucharist. And then we must go and become the gift to others. We must give the gift of presence, and we must go on mission. We must go on mission. So for me, National Eucharistic Congress was just so many, superlatives, right? Amazing, uplifting, joyful, healing, energizing. I needed some of that. Faith deepening, like all things wonderful. But what I really took away from it was the understanding that sharing Jesus is more than just a feel-good thing, right? Sometimes when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing great things for Jesus, because it's making me feel good about myself. But it's so much more than that. We truly do have a mission. We have a mission to go out and share Jesus because he's given us his gift of being Jesus, and we have to share that with others. And I think that's why I had that overwhelming, I have to go, because I needed to be reminded of that. I needed to be reminded to be an intentional disciple and to be just like the apostles, the disciples, and Jesus himself, to go out and invite people one by one to be with him. Okay, that's what Jesus did. He talked to people one-on-one, and he accompanied them. And I think I was meant to learn about the Walk with One initiative. I'm so excited about this. We're going to be kicking it off. All Saints community, we're going to be kicking it off in Advent. But the Walk with One is we identify people that need to be brought back to the church. We do that through God, in prayer, lots of intercession. How do we work with these people, right? Or not just these people, how do we work with this one person that God has put on our hearts to bring back into the church? And then we connect with them and we invite them. And we're going to kick that off. I have a lot more to learn, but I'm so excited about it. And I really think that that idea of mission is why I had to go. I have thousands of stories. I think I talked to my husband for 2 hours when I first got back, and I keep talking about more and more. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. But thank you again for making this happen and for joining us this evening.